been a concept dreamt of by fans ever since the introduction of Super Saiyan God, and although this is not Dragon Ball Super tying in with the event of the Tournament of Power, as fans, we are now graced with the ever so longing question of what would happen if Super Saiyan 4 met Super Saiyan Blue. What is going on, Dragon Ball Heroes fans? Welcome to my Dragon Ball Heroes Episode 1 review entitled Goku vs. Goku, a super battle begins on the prison planet, the first ever debut of the official Super Dragon Ball Heroes, also known as Dragon Ball Heroes anime, which has been talked about and discussed for several weeks now, ever since finding out that Super Dragon Ball Heroes is in fact going to have its own anime. And for me personally, I was so excited ever since day one, because what Super Dragon Ball Heroes is, or the concept behind Dragon Ball Heroes, is a card game adaptation of fanfiction involving several different characters within the Dragon Ball multiverse, and for the first time we get to witness this in the form of its own animated series. And for those that have missed out within the last few days, I have recently posted the Super Dragon Ball Heroes Prison Planet manga, which basically reveals and gives out more information and spoilers as to what is to come in the future of the episode. So of course, by this we've already learned that Super Saiyan Blue would of course battle Super Saiyan 4, and as an end result, seeing what happens to Trunks and seeing the confrontation between Vegeta and Fu. But having to put the manga aside, let's discuss what we've seen in the animated version of Super Dragon Ball Heroes. Now, again, if you are new to this channel, don't forget to punch that subscribe button, guys, and turn on all notifications to be notified whenever we have brand new updates, news, and information for everything involving Dragon Ball. Hashtag Dragon Ball Squad as we kick off Super Dragon Ball Heroes Episode 1 with Goku and Vegeta. But before we discuss Goku and Vegeta, do you guys remember when we saw Vegito Blue debut during the Super Dragon Ball Heroes trailer? Well, we have a brand new picture of Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Vegito, who is also going to be making an appearance in Dragon Ball Heroes. And again, if you guys want to hear more information about this, I am going to be making a separate video after this following the events of Dragon Ball Heroes Episode 1, connecting both Cumber and Vegito for the future episodes. Now, the way Super Dragon Ball Heroes started off was with Goku and Vegeta having to train with Whis, very similar to the manga adaptation that I have debuted on the channel just a few days ago. And I'll be the first one to admit, the fluidity, the animation style behind this looked so beautiful, in my opinion, if anything, better than Dragon Ball Super, because if you look at the texture, if you look at the way everything was positioned and colored, and basically the way it flowed, it felt so smooth, especially for this having to be region locked at first for many other people. Now again, as we go into this episode, we see how Whis is bodying both Goku and Vegeta until Mai shows up, and when she shows up, she ends up introducing Fu. And I really love the reflection on Fu's glasses as he's talking, because he seems so condescending and he seems so deceptive in his nature. Now, the episode itself was 8 minutes and 45 seconds long, and the way we actually go to the prison planet was completely different than what we saw in the manga, because we see how Goku uses instant transmission, and unlike what we saw in the manga, instead of having Super Saiyan 4 Goku attack, we see how a base Xeno Goku ends up arriving, and over out in the distance we see how Fu is just standing there laughing, and Goku and Vegeta are so shocked as to what they're looking at, because we're looking at two Gokus staring each other off. And I love the way Xeno Goku just immediately goes into Super Saiyan 4, as Capsule Corp Goku immediately goes into Super Saiyan Blue. Now, the way these two fought, in my opinion, was golden, because this is the closest you will ever get to seeing Super Saiyan 4 versus Super Saiyan Blue. And I love the overall style behind this, because as Goku's flying up, he ends up hitting like this invisible barrier, and he ends up scratching his head, and he's like, what the heck is going on? And that's when Super Saiyan 4 Goku is talking to Super Saiyan Blue Goku and wondering what kind of transformation this is, because keep in mind, Super Saiyan Blue Goku has never seen Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and Super Saiyan 4 Goku has never seen Super Saiyan Blue Goku, just like we've seen in the manga. But what was really disappointing was seeing the Kamehameha collision, because as soon as Super Saiyan 4 and Super Saiyan Blue Goku's Kamehamehas went to clash, immediately it just faded into dust, and we see how Fu is looking down, he's laughing, and he seems very condescending, because again, he's encouraging them to continue to fight. And what was really disappointing to me, at least as a viewer, was the fact that we got to see this fight last so shortly, because it wasn't like the fight itself was going to last 22 minutes. The fight itself was actually, give or take, about a minute or two before Super Saiyan 4 Goku decided to fire off in shooting Fu. But Fu looks like he's so strong, he was easily able to deflect Super Saiyan 4 Goku's Ki Blast with complete ease, and I'm not really sure how I feel about that, considering the fact that we don't know much about Fu at all, and for this fight to stop so abruptly, I can understand why, in a way, they ended off the way they ended off this fight and having basically nobody walk away the winner, because both Gokus, they came down, and they didn't really engage afterwards, until, of course, we see how Fu got involved. Now, again, if you guys are wondering about English translations, we aren't going to have English translations yet, but just like how we saw in the manga, it looks like Fu actually reveals his grand plan in having everybody here fighting for the Dragon Balls and basically allowing everybody to know that there are 7 prisoners on this planet and each of them bear that of a Dragon Ball. So what I really did not like about this episode was the fact that Fu so casually had managed to just tell them what his plan was, just for the fact that he wanted to have fun. He wants to be entertained, and in Xenoverse it looked like he was more or less an ally more so than a foe, but in this particular episode he came off more like a foe or an anti-hero than someone that's going to be on your side, because as Goku's talking to him, Fu's like, no, these are my rules, and in order to go about by finishing up and completing everything, you're going to have to fight the strongest. So by the very end, we see how Trunks is sitting in his cell, in which you have to also beg the question as to how in the world Trunks managed to get captured in the first place is beyond me, but the atmosphere, the setting of Fu disappearing and seeing those chains in the sky was pretty cool. But as we go into Trunks just basically sitting in his cell, he has like these shackles on his arms. He looks to be very like distraught in a way because he's laying there, he's wondering what the heck is going on. Then out of nowhere we see how the gates in front of him begin to open. Now, unlike what we saw in the manga there was an explosion via Cooler having to arrive and basically blowing the door up. Here it's a little different because we see how immediately as Trunks is running, he looks up in the sky and he sees Cooler there. Now again, Cooler, as he's standing there, we see how Fu is out in the background somewhere just basically laughing it up in the fact that now Trunks is going to have to be faced up in fighting against Cooler. But over out on the other screens we see Bojack and King Cold and Ozato and various other people as the episode comes to an end with Kamba, aka Cumber, having to power up. Now, these are my pros and cons for this episode. Visually, this episode, or at least this anime, looks very, very good. If you're somebody out there who's going to complain about animation or has complained about animation before with Dragon Ball Super, you are going to be very impressed with what you see here because everything feels different, everything looks very sharp. So I really do have to give them credit for allowing this 9-minute piece to look the way it did, but I was really disappointed in seeing the fact that we didn't really have a winner between Super Saiyan Blue and Super Saiyan 4. Even though Super Saiyan Blue is confirmed to be stronger, it still didn't end off the way many people wanted this to end off, and I really did want to see the climatic conclusion between these two having a fight because a lot of us want to see someone get beat down, and we didn't really get that. But I love the tension that Fu put out because just like in the manga when Vegeta confronted him, he basically revealed his plan in letting everyone know, listen, you have to collect the Dragon Balls. In order for you to leave, you have to gather all 7 Dragon Balls. That's basically what Fu has been plotting here this whole time. And with seeing Golden Cooler in the previews, in which I will touch up on another video, seeing Golden Cooler in this is going to be great because the way everything is flowing and the way everything is going to come together in this grand battle, it's going to be phenomenal. So the way this episode looked and the way this episode was presented to me was great, but I will also have to say if you're expecting to see 20-30 minute long pieces, you're going to be disappointed. Now, if you guys are looking to watch this, make sure you guys are following me on Twitter because I will give you guys the information on how to unlock the region, because there is a certain extension that you need, at least for Google Chrome, that can allow you to watch things that are region locked. So I can give you guys that information. Thank you, and big shout outs to Anti-Metaman for providing that information for me, because if it were not for him, I would not be able to watch this. So, but in the end, I would like to know what you guys have to say down the comment section below. Did you guys enjoy the episode? Did you guys hate the episode? What are your thoughts on the animation? What are your thoughts on the fluidity of the episode? And if you had to compare it to Dragon Ball Super, which a lot of people have done before, even before the anime came out, what are your thoughts in seeing the fluidity of Super Dragon Ball Heroes in comparison to Dragon Ball Super? Let me know your thoughts down below, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, everybody. Turn on all notifications. We are going to be having a massive Discord discussion, basically summarizing and breaking down the episode on my Discord chat, in which you can find my Discord link down in the description box below. So I encourage you guys to come on in and discuss Dragon Ball with the rest of us. was, but for me, I'm really hyped to see what's going to happen in episode 2, especially carrying on over with the manga, because there is so much more to explore and tell, especially with Cumber, Cooler, Trunks, Vegeta, Few, both of the Gokus, that there's so much more substance left that I really cannot wait to see what's going to happen. And for me personally, I've always been a fan of fanfiction, especially within the world of Dragon Ball, so for me, this has been very satisfying, especially to those also who've always wanted to see a Super Dragon Ball Heroes or Dragon Ball Heroes anime. So leave your thoughts down below, guys, positive or negative, if you guys cannot wait for more, and of course love Dragon Ball, slap a like on the video, tune back in for more. Thank you all so much once again, and I'll be seeing you all down in the comment section below and for the next video. Cue my motherfucking outro, bitch.